answers, bicycle bonds and hydrogen bonds. Which one? Hydrogen bonds, right? Hydrogen bonds between which atoms? The methane atoms or ethane atoms? Right? Methane atoms, I got both answers. If you connect methane and ethane, so what is the pattern of alpha gases? Between which atoms? Like NaHNCO atom, right? So like the methane, so NC alpha C, NC alpha C, right? So NaHNCO ion H+4 to make the hydrogen bond. What's the hydrogen bond? Electronegative atoms, right? So you have one acceptor, one donor. How to distinguish acceptor and donor? Right? Two electronegative atoms, one electronegative atom attached to the hydrogen, right? So that is the donor, and the other one is the one that is the acceptor, right? What is the distance between two heavy atoms to form hydrogen bond? Around 2.5. Right? So it's on the second series. Alpha relation to that. And what is tertiary structure?
Combination of secondary.
Combination of secondary structures. What is the major information you get from the protein structure? Yeah. So what information you have? So the series structures means you get the atomic coordinates. Right? So you get the specific location of each atom. Right? In a protein. Specific location from spectrographic analysis of protein. Right? So what are the major interactions for the formation of 3D structures? Hydrophobic interactions, ionic interactions, disulfide bonds, hydrogen bonds, other one interactions. These are all the major interactions which separate the protein. What is coordinate structures? It's a combination of different genetic structures, right? They have different subunits, right? So that means one protein interacts with other proteins to form the oligomer. It's a biological unit. The functions only they are from the proper coordinate structure. So in this case of proteins, they have the oligomeric state, right? So they have sometimes the same subunit, that's called the homopolymer. Sometimes it's hetero. So one unit may be some set of protein chain, and another unit has a different protein chain. They are the hetero. Okay. So now today we will discuss mainly about the protein interactions, regarding how the proteins they form the interaction with the other protein to form a complex. And why the complex formation is important, which interactions are important to form the complex, right? And how these complexes are important for the structure of the protein. Right. Right. So this is the major projects I am working on. I don't want to explain too much on this because it will be difficult. Right. So when you see the protein structures, okay, here the primary structure. Primary structure is the combination of amino acid residues. They are completely linear chain. Right? And it forms the protein 3D structure. Right? There are various interactions that we discussed now. Carbocytic interactions, hydrophobic interactions, van-der-Waals interactions. These interactions are important, right, to make these specific residues to come close to each other. Because in the amino acid sequence there is like linear chain, completely unfolded state. Right? So these residues they cooperatively interact with each other to come close to each other to form a stable 3D structure. Right? That's one aspect. How these specific sequence, right, they form a stable 3D structure. The second point is how long a protein can take to go from this unfolded state to the folded state. Whether it takes milliseconds or microseconds or time hours, right, or days. Right? It takes the order of from the millisecond to an hour. So when you have the amino acid sequence, right, when they are synthesized, to go from the sequence to the result. So what makes this specific sequence and what's the major interactions, what major contacts which makes this time different? Why some of them they fold very fast, some proteins they fold take time to fold. Because this is very important. Because when the protein is messaged, it has to go to stable 3D structure in a specific period of time. For example, if you come right from our home to here, so we know it takes about 1 hour or 1.5 hours. If it takes 5 hours, 6 hours means then we know that there is some problem, right? Otherwise we lose the way, or with somewhere else, right? Like this protein, if it is not folded in proper period of time, then it causes to protein misfolding or go to protein aggregation, right? So this causes various diseases. So that specific period of time is important. So to understand that, we need to know what are the various contacts which makes this specific sequence to fold into nucleotide structure in a specific period of time. That depends upon the contacts. If a protein makes more short range contacts, for example, it is easy to make contacts which are close to each other, right? Some cases, some residues which are from one side and the other side, they also try to interact. If there are more number of contacts which are from the long way, it takes more time to fold. Right? If it is close, then easily they can interact. Right? So this is what we discussed in the case of the folding. Right? So see what is a major contact which makes a protein to fold in this very period of time. So this is called LRO, this is long range order, which depends on the contacts which are close in space, make the complete nucleotide structures, but they are far away in the sequence. One decision is in the 5th position, another decision is in the 20th position. So this takes time to have the interaction. The second part is once a protein is folded, we have to maintain the stability for the function. Right? What are the major interactions to keep the protein stable? What will happen if we mutate a particular residue to other residues? Whether it will stabilize the protein or destabilize the protein, what are the factors which influence the stability and not. So this is the one we derived this database called Proton, and we did some analysis to understand what are the factors which influence the stability of protein. Fine. When you go for the aggregation, right, there are some specific pattern of aggregation. Right? This try to have the aggregating proteins. So what are the pattern of this specific residue patterns? Right? So why they form aggregation? What are how to disturb the aggregation? That also we studied in detail regarding protein. Why we study all these aspects? Because all these aspects which are one or other way related with some sort of disease. So we address some issues like the corneal disturbance, this eye disease, this related with protein aggregation. Malaria. Malaria is, what are the major causes for malaria? Mosquito, right? Mosquito and human. So human pathogen interactions. If you study about protein-protein interactions, what are the proteins involved in human? What are the proteins involved in plasmodium? So we can see the interactive proteins and whether we can introduce any of the small molecules to inhibit this type of interactions. There are several studies going on with the malaria. And Parkinson disease, that is mainly related with the protein aggregation. Right? There are some specific proteins called alpha-synucleins. They are having the aggregating proteins. Once it is aggregating, then it is not having interactions with other molecules to perform the proper function. In this case, you can try to mutate some residues. You can see, okay, to disturb the aggregation, and then see whether this protein can interact with the other proteins or not. We also work on some kind of cancer, right? Because there is currently it is very important, right, to study the cancer. Everybody is okay, trying to find some vaccine or some medicine for cancer. So we are trying to understand what are the probable mutations. Like for example, now the human genome is very easy to get the genome sequence. Early days cost you $10,000, but now each base you can get for the $1. Right? So if we have the genome, so we know our sequences, right? Then we can predict what are the possible changes of amino acid residues, right, in our genome in approx period of time. So we try to understand what are the mutations which cause different types of cancers, and what is the probability of having a specific sequence to be mutated to other residues. Right? This we can understand. So this is what we are trying to address the issue for the cancer causing mutation. Also it depends on different types of cancer, different lung cancer and the abdominal cancer, variety of cancers. Right? So we can see in specific type of mutations, right, which happens in the particular sequence. Because if you look at the human genome sequences, we can write. We heard about 1000 genome sequencing, 1000 genome projects. Right, this case, try to understand, to get the genome sequence of 1000 individuals from different area, different specific region, and different therapeutics, and see what are the variations in the amino acid sequences. If we take some Koreans, if we take 1000 Koreans, then the difference will be less. But if we take one Korean and one American, then we can see the difference of these amino acid sequences in various cases. Currently, they are trying about 10,000 genomes. Fine. So then today we will discuss mainly about the interactions. right? Okay, so the proteins perform different functions. And second thing is they interact with other molecules. Other molecules called the proteins or the DNA or RNA or the small molecules and ligands, right? Or carbohydrates. So it perform different functions. So today I will mainly focus on the protein interactions, as well as at the end I will discuss a little bit about the protein ligand interactions and how we use protein ligand interactions for the sexual based pregnancy. Fine. So anybody heard about protein interactions? Yes? It perform various functions. Right? I will discuss key functions, right? And then see how we study these functions and how we will address this issue using the experimental techniques as well as the computational aspects, and what are the information obtained from the analysis of the computational studies. The coordination ubiquitination. So it is one of the post-structural modifications. Right? It is mainly because the ubiquitin. This is the proteins with about 85 amino acid residues, right? It's attached to a substrate protein. This ubiquitination, okay, this plays a central role in the interactions on various aspects, like as the degradation. Sometimes we need to degrade some of the proteins. So this property, right, this function, it helps for the degradation of proteins, and they put the proteins in proper place. Then we localizing this the proteins to a specific compartment, and also it affects the activity of the protein and promote or prevent protein-protein interactions. So if you have two proteins to interact, this will help whether these proteins to interact or you need to prevent the interaction. Okay, these are all done by the protein ubiquitin on three different enzymes, like activation enzymes, conjugation ones, and the ligands. Right? So this is how this ubiquitination helps for the function of the cell. The other one is cell signaling. Cell signaling means this is the system of communications which governs the activities and coordinates the cell actions. This will respond to the microenvironment. When the proteins get the information, they have to pass the information to the different parts of the cell and try to direct what to do and how to do all these things. This is mediated by the protein-protein interactions. Here I show one example, like the interleukin 4, right? Because if you have some errors for passing the signal, so changing the signals, it causes these diseases such as diabetes, autoimmunity, and something else. So this is very important. So this is performed by the protein-protein interactions. Like this molecular switching, this will tell you the different partners with different specificity. For example, if you have a particular protein, if a particular protein is interacting with the different other proteins, right? This will help to have the specific interactions between the partners, because they have a different free energy change of binding, different dissociative constants to interact with the different proteins, and this will direct on which proteins they have to interact which free energy change or different dissociative constants and so on. And one of the major one is called antigen-antibody interaction, that you are familiar with antigen-antibody interactions. Okay, this is very important because in most of the immunology processes. So there is interaction between antibodies produced by B cells, right, and the antigens during the immune response. Why it is very important? Because it protects the body from pathogens and chemical toxins and so on. Likewise, if you take each protein-protein complex, they perform variety of functions. Now the question is, what are the major interactions? What makes these proteins to interact, and how these interactions help to understand the function? Right? So you can do different type of analysis. One type of analysis is if you have the 3D structures. Right? What shall we get the 3D structure information? When we study our protein structures, right? What is the database for the protein structures? Protein data bank, right? Anybody used protein data bank? No, okay. So if you look at the protein data bank, right, there is a PDB. So it contains about 120,000 structures, and you can see several complexes and free proteins. So the structures. Right? If you analyze these structures, you could take the PDB and get the structures and see the interactions, right? Then you can understand, right, how a specific protein-protein complex can be formed, what are the major interactions, and so on. So likewise, there are various studies which have been done from protein data bank, right, to understand the interactions, And if you have a complex, okay, it's one protein, it's another protein, when they make a complex, right? So where are the protein interface? Where the residues are located between the two proteins, and what are the residues which are at the surface? This will help you to understand the important interactions and to see how they communicate between the two different proteins. Once we know the information, then we can develop several models. We can try to analyze the data, we can try to predict the structures, right? And to predict several databases and servers and so on. This is one point of view. And the another aspect is you can do large scale analysis, like the human pathogen interactions. Right? You have the human, you have the plasmodium. Likewise, you can have the networks. What are different proteins? In the human, we have 20,000 plus proteins, and you have the plasmodium, right? 5,000 plus proteins. So among all the proteins, what are the proteins interact, and how about the maps? What are the proteins which are very important, like acting as a hub, right? So then we have this large scale analysis. They have like the different types of networks. So two types of analysis currently you can make. One is by using the complexes, and the second one is using the networks by using different types of proteins. For example, if you have a protein complex, okay, we have the two proteins, they interact with each other. Okay, this is protein A, protein B, they try to interact with each other. What are the various information you can get from these structures? You can think about some of the analysis. What can we do? If you have a complex structure, I don't have board to explain. So you have the complex structure, right? What are the various type of analysis we can think about? Yes? Any answers are fine. I'll explain. Right, first we can see how the complex looks like. Right? And second one, what can we do? Yes? Interactions, right? So you can say, for example, this is a protein 1, protein 2 from the complex. What are types of interactions between these two proteins, right? Whether they can form the ionic bond, whether they can form the van der Waals interactions, or hydrophobic interactions, and so on, right? Then what else? Robinson plot you can see the location of the specific residues. They are very strained in the specific complex, right? You can try to understand that, right? Then you can see the shape, because when you have the interactions, mainly if you see the protein-protein interactions, they behave as a lock and key mechanism. Right? What is lock and key mechanism? Yeah, that is shape complementarity. Right? If they have the one protein in this way, another means, then just make this lock and key, right? Like see the shape. So that then you have the shape complementarity. That will help you to identify whether these two proteins interact or not, how they interact and so on, right? So likewise, they can see various different types of non-canonical interactions and so on. Okay, fine. So these are the various studies. Okay, so different types of analysis you can make, and finally you can also see some of the key residues. What are the residues which are mainly important, right, to for the two proteins to interact with each other. If you don't know the structure, for example, if you only a sequence, what can we do? What are information you obtain from the sequence? You have the amino acid sequence, right? For example, we take a protein, so we have some amino acid sequence. So you can derive some features from the amino acid sequence. What are the few features? Can you think about the features to obtain from the sequence? You have a sequence, you know the molecular weight, right? You can get the molecular weight if you have a sequence. Yes? How do you get the molecular weight? For each amino acid, we have the molecular weight, right? And finally, you add up all the amino acid residues, then subtract it with. Right? Just if you add, you get the molecular weight. We don't get, right? We have to subtract. What to subtract? Because when we form the dipeptide, right? So we have the peptide 1, we have the amino acid 2. So when they form, so what will be eliminated? Water molecule eliminated, right? So for dipeptide, how many water will be eliminated? 1, right? For example, if you have a sequence with n amino acid residues, how many water molecule will be eliminated? N minus 1, right? So you have to add up all the residues, molecular weight, and subtract with n minus 1 in the 18, right? Because the molecular weight of this water, total unit. So if you have a sequence, you can get the molecular weight. In what else you can get? So occurrence you can see. If you have the sequence, you can see how many amines, how many variants, how many aspartic acid, how many glutamic acid. This information you can get. Okay, this information is very important, right? It is mainly because some type of proteins are influenced with specific type of interaction. Right? For example, if you have a DNA binding protein or RNA binding protein, right? The interface is dominated with some specific types of residues. Can you guess which type of residues are influencing in the case of protein DNA or protein RNA complexes? Right? DNA is out charge, negative charge because of the phosphate, right? If negative charge, then there is a high possibility of attraction with positive charge, right? What are the positive charge residues? Arginine, histidine, and lysine, right? Or these residues. So if you see the protein DNA complexes or protein RNA complexes, at the interface you can see your bias. You can see dominance of these type of residues, lysine or arginine or histidine, right? So likewise, we have different types of proteins. They have the dominance of these specific residues. If, for example, if you take membrane proteins, so you studied about membrane proteins, right? What are membrane proteins? The proteins which are embedded into the membrane, right? For example, if you have the cytoplasm and the periplasm, right? In between there is a membrane, right? There is intermembrane, it's a plasma membrane, right? So there are several proteins which are embedded into that protein. That membrane, they are alpha helical membrane proteins, right? Or intermembrane proteins because they have the alpha helical conformation. Another type of membrane protein within protein 1, this is protein 2, right? Take any atom in a particular protein, so say one atom here, and see any atom in this protein 2 is here, right? And calculate the distance, right? And the distance is to a particular cutoff. You put a cutoff of 3.5 angstrom or 5 angstrom, right? And you put a cutoff and see if the two atoms are within a particular limit of 4 angstrom or 5 angstrom, then you can say these residues are the interface. Right? For example, if you are here, right, which interface means they are very close to each other, right? They are in contact. Right? If they are very far, then their possibility is very less. They are in contact. If they are very close, then the possibility is very high to have the contact. Right? So likewise, you put the cutoff between the atoms in protein 1 and protein 2, and within the cutoff, then you can say these residues are the interface. Right? Then how to define this cutoff? Any cutoff you can take, or you have to use any specific cutoff. How to define the cutoff? Mainly we use the van der Waals radius of the two atoms, right? So 1 plus 1.5 plus 1.2 or likewise 2.53 plus 1 angstrom, because otherwise you have a steady class. So normally we use 3.5 angstrom if you use any heavy atoms, right? So for example, if you have the glycine, how many heavy atoms? How many heavy atoms in glycine? You know structure of glycine? So what is structure? NaCO, right? You have the 4 heavy atoms. If you have alanine, 4 plus 1 5 because we have the C beta, right? So you take any of the heavy atoms in protein 1, any residue, and take the protein 2, any residue, right? If this is less than 3.5 angstrom, then you can see these residues are interface. These residues are interacting, right? Or you can use the C alpha atom. This is also widely used. We use the C alpha atoms, right? Then the distance will be bigger because we are not using all heavy atoms. So they use 5 angstrom or 6 angstrom. Then there are some studies they use C beta atoms, right? They are also having about 6 angstrom to C beta, right? So if I have a complex, if I give you a complex, I ask you to identify the binding sites. Can you do that? Yes or no? Yes, I give you a complex. I ask you to identify the binding sites. What to do? Take the complex, cut it into 2 pieces, you get 2 chains, calculate the distance, right? We have the distance equation, right? This is equal to calculate the distance, and you may find the distance is less than 3.5 angstrom, you are done, right? Fine. Then the second one, so we can also identify the Boitech size using solvent accessibility criteria. Right? So what is solvent accessibility? So what is accessible surface area? For example, if we have a protein, okay, for example, if we have a ball, right? So which part of this protein is accessible to solvent, which part is not accessible? Outer part is accessible, right? Outer part is accessible, inner part is not accessible, right? So likewise, we have a protein molecule, right, this here. We roll a water molecule of 1.4 angstrom. Why water molecule? Because it is an aqueous environment. So this way we roll a water molecule. Because the protein is always in the aqueous environment. So we roll the water molecule on the surface, and you can say this is the surface where this atom, the water molecule carry the contact. Right? You can disable the contact. So you can see how far this water molecule can penetrate into each atoms in the protein. Right? This is called the surface area which are accessible by the solvent. Right? So right, you can calculate the surface area of all the residues, right, which are accessible to solvent. You see like this. Okay, these are highly accessible. The outside atoms are highly accessible, and the inside ones which are not accessible. Right? Fine. So this is the concept of solvent accessibility. Now, how we use this concept to identify the Boitech size? Right? You have the complex. Right? Here we divide it into two parts. One is the protein 1, this one is protein 2. Calculate the accessible surface area with the whole protein, whole complex. Bring for this one. Right, bring for this one, right? And we compare the accessibility. For example, if you have the outer surface here, take this region or this region, right? So if you run for this protein or run for this protein, there you can see any difference or not. Right? With outer surface, it is accessible to solvent, right? So here also it is accessible to solvent, here also it is accessible to solvent. On the other hand, if you take the inner surface, this region, this is accessible to solvent or not? Here, the free protein, this outer, right? It is accessible to solvent, right? But if you go this region, this complex, it is here. Now we have the partner here. Now this is accessible or not? This is not accessible, right? Why it is not accessible? Because of this, the partner, the complex, right? So now if we calculate the solvent accessibility, accessible surface area, and compare the free protein as well as the complex, if there is a change of more than 1 angstrom square, then we can say these residues are at the interface. If there is no change, right? For example, if you take this region, here also it is accessible, here also it is accessible. You cannot see any change. If there is no change, then they are not interacting, right? If there is a change, then you can say these residues are at the interface. Okay, and how to calculate this accessible surface area? There are different programs to calculate the accessible surface area. Right? DSSP is one of the standard program. Right? It will calculate, if you take the protein structure and using the concept of solvent accessibility, this will calculate the accessible surface area for each residue. Currently, there are several other programs called INXS or AIC and different programs which can calculate the AIC of each atom. This one can calculate only the each residues. Oh, this is not clear here. Okay, so here you can see the solvent accessible surface area. Right? Here are different numbers. The numbers 0, 1, as well as 140, 150, and so on. Right? So from these numbers, we can say which residues are accessible to solvent, which residues are buried. How to get the number? How to see whether it's buried or exposed? If the numbers are low, for example 0, 1, 2, they are buried or exposed. We get different numbers. Some residues have 0, 1, 2, and some residues they have 120, 150, and so on. Which one is buried and which one is exposed? Right? Which one is buried? Which is exposed? If it is outside, the external surface area will be higher or lower? This higher, right? So on the outside, this higher. So if you look into these numbers, you can say if it is high numbers, 100, 90s, and so on, then they are accessible to solvent. And they are highly accessible. If it is 0 and 1, they're completely inaccessible. These residues are located inside the protein core. Okay, this is the result obtained from this DSSP program. Now you can easily represent this in the form of a figure, right? Because these numbers are a little bit difficult to interpret. So we make a figure like this. Can you see this figure? Can you see the colors? What are different colors? Yeah, we have grey, green, and the red and the blue and so on, right? So can you read the letters which are inside the circles? Is that not sharp? Can you read? You know, you can read? Okay, so I'll tell you. Okay, if you see this one, there are some marks which are small and some circles are little bigger, right? That depends on the accessible surface area. If it is accessible surface area, I put it into small circles. If it is accessible surface area is very large, right? Then I put the bigger circle. Then you see the grey ones are mainly the aspartic, the leucine, isoleucine, valine and so on. You have several atoms, right? In the station 42. For each pair of atoms, we calculate the energy, right? And we add up all the atoms for a specific residue to get the energy for a particular residue, right? So use this equation to calculate the energy. So for each atom we get the energy, right? So now we make a data set, right? To see the types of interactions, right? So in this case, we have to be careful that the data set should be not unbiased and that should be perfect. For that case, we have to think about different aspects. Only the resolution should be very high, right? Then only the coordinates we can trust, and we have to take a data which is not biased. That means the same data we cannot use it several times. This is what we call non-redundant, right? Why do you need non-redundant? I will explain why do you need non-redundant. For example, if you have this particular sequence, two sequences, right? So what is the average A in this sequence? If we take these two sequences, right? Totally 20 residues, and there are 4 A's, that is 0.20, right? If you put one of the sequences twice, for example, I put this sequence twice, right? Now if you see what is the average of A, totally 30, right? Out of 37 A's, that is 0.23. For example, I put this sequence twice. Right? Now the average is 5 or 30, that is 0.17. Right? So if you have same data several times, it introduces a bias in your data set. So if you use same data several times in your data set, so finally the results will be biased. There is a reason why we need non-redundant data sets. Right? So now there are various programs to get the non-redundant data sets. One is CDKit, or the BLASTclust, or the PISys. So these are the various programs where you can get the non-redundant data set. If you give your data, sequence data or structure data, right, this will automatically use some of the criteria, right, and they check the values. Right? For example, if you have two different proteins in the EU, the possibility of having the match continuously 20 residues or 10 residues is very low. If the 10 residues are continuously the same, two sequences, then they can say that these proteins they have high sequence identity. Now they reduce the numbers. Maybe instead of 10 they use 5 or 4 or 3, right? And the number of times it occurs in the sequence. Likewise, they can classify the proteins they are having high sequence redundancy or less sequence redundancy, right? So they use the tetrapeptides or tetrapeptides or decapeptides, right? So using the different number of times, so finally you can see whether the proteins are similar or not. Of course, if you see the tripeptides or tripeptides, the efficiency decreases because the possibility is very high. If you have 2 or 3, right? So they use some clustering methods, right? So these are the some clusters. They will form 3 clusters and make this particular point to move here and there. Finally, they made the distinct clusters and they take one from each cluster to make the non-redundant data set. This is how they program out. So they use 2 different types of analysis. They can use a Hamming distance or they can use the equating distance, right? With the different features. One of the features is composition, because if you have the sequence, this is the easiest one. For they have one protein, calculate the composition, second protein, calculate the composition, find the difference. Right? So for each 20 amino acids, you calculate the absolute difference, right? And add up everything for the 20 residues. You can say this is having this, right? Then if you have 3 proteins, right? If 2 proteins are very, how do you know that 2 proteins are very close? Communication is more or less? Less, right? If the distance is very less, the difference is low, then you can say these 2 proteins are very close to each other. Right? You can do that. But this is how the heat works. So you can get this in this side, and finally you have the different window size and different thresholds. And if you give this the command, right, then finally you get these results. You don't have to worry about too much. Okay, the blast class is another program. Right, also you can give the different sequence identities. Right, so the Pisces is another server. Right, so here it takes your sequence here, right, and then finally it says identity 25%. Then give 25%. If you submit, then finally you get the sequences. Right. So now what I want to say is, so when you make any analysis, right, you have to make sure that you develop a non-redundant data set. Because if you project, if you want to do a project, you can carry out any structural analysis based on protein complexes or protein RNA complexes or the protein, different types of protein structures. The important thing is you have to care about the data set. Redundancy is very important. Okay, now show the results. Okay, we calculate the energy, right? The protein 1 and the protein 2 for all the atoms. We calculate the energy and we sum up, we get the different residues, right? Now, for example, a particular protein, it has 100 residues. We have energy for all the 100 residues. Now, we classify these residues based on the frequency of occurrence. How many residues? They fall between -2 and -1. How many residues? They have the frequency of -2 to -1.9. Right? So, you show the plot -2 to 1, different intervals. Right? So, these intervals are 0.1. So -2 to -1.9, 1.9 to 1.8, and so on. Right? This is this plot. So here is the one which is cumulative values up to -2, up to -1, up to -0.5, and so on. Right? So in this figure, if you see, there is one peak here. Right? Why there is a peak here? So can you guess why there is a peak? What is the energy near the peak? What is the energy? 0, right? It's close to 0. Right? Now can you answer the question why there is a peak here? Because the interaction energy of the 2 complexes, we take the energy for all the combinations. Right? Some cases we have values and only the around 0 we have around 70%. Right? Because that means these residues are not interact. Because only some percentage of residues are at the interface. Right? Because this is protein 1, protein 2, when you make the complex, right? Only this region, interface region. So about 10% of the residues which are at the interface. The other 80%, 90% which are not in the interface. Right? So that means the interaction energy is very low. Because we calculate the energy inversely proportional to the R, right? Rij power 6, Rij power 12, or Rij. If it is very far, right, then the value will be very less. Right? If you take the inverse, that is 0. Right? That's the reason why we get more values near 0. So if you take the cutoff of -2 kilocalorie per mole, you can see about 7.7% residues which are in the binding site. If you take 1 kilocalorie per mole here, right, that's around 10.8% residues which are identified as a binding site. Right? Right? It is the same thing again. So we compare the data, whether you use the energy based or you use a distance based or you use a double based surface approach, right? Finally, you get similar number of residues which are in the interface, mainly about 10 to 13%. Right? There are some residues which are not matching, which mainly because we use the distance based criteria, all the residues which are within 3.5 angstrom are identified as binding. But if we use energy, it considers the repulsive interaction and attractive interactions. If the attractive interactions, they are identified as binding. The repulsive interactions, they are not identified as binding because it is high energy, so it is not as binding. Right. So now the question is, okay, are there any preference of residues at the interface? Right? Because if you identify the binding residues, right, in all the complexes, are there any preferences at the binding interface? So how to do that? So we can for all the 50 residues, okay. So these are the total number of residues. These are the residues which are at the interface. They are binding. Now we divide this n point divided by n total, right, for the binding propensity, and we can see the values. Right? Can you see the preferred any specific residues which are preferred to be at the interface? Any residue they have high values, right? Which residues have high preference?